All right, here we go. Cowboys at Niners. This is a fun one. I mean, this is everything you want. Here's where I'll start the conversation. I am so much more excited about this game now than I was a week ago after watching the way that the Cowboys played on Monday night. Because some of those questions we had about the offensive line and how they would shake out with Biada's hurt, and then what the corner situation would be and whether they'd be able to solve that, their solutions, at least in the short term, were pretty good. And that version of the Cowboys that we saw on Monday was a reminder that this has been one of the elite teams in the league all season. And I wanted that version of the Cowboys against this Niners team because that is a real battle. Like, that is a heavyweight battle. And I think that is what we're in store for here.
I'm fired up. I totally agree. For a few weeks, it was kind of nice to be like, hey, there actually is a couple NFC teams that could be contenders, and the Cowboys being one of them. And then those weeks, they all figured that all the injuries started racking up. The Titans game was going on. It's like, really, man, this is kind of seems like the same old Cowboys, like a little leaving you want more, but then you look at every underlying number with this team, offense and defense. They've just been a fantastic team. They really have success rate, EPA, explosive plays, everything you look at, especially with this Cowboys offense that can run or pass the ball effectively. And then, but you have to see it sometimes. It's like, yes, I know that, but I don't want to see week 17 and week 18 and you guys look like crap. Like, that's not going to really make me feel good. And then your offensive line, you got the rookie who's bumping into guard. You got 40-year-old Jason Peters. Like, it doesn't really leave you warm and fuzzy, and really feeling optimistic about the team. But no, I agree. I'm stoked for this game, especially one side of the ball. I'm really, really excited to watch.
I mean, obviously the Cowboys, that game is a reminder. There's no need to be reminded about the Niners. The Niners have been that team for a while. I mean, they are a hold on for dear life offense right now. And I think that matchup is going to be fantastic. The one thing, before we get into each side of the ball here, this is a rematch of what happened in the playoffs last year where the Niners stomped them. And even if the final score was semi-close, the Niners were in control that entire game. And I think that the biggest thing that's at stake here for anybody involved in this game is the way that Dak, Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore, like, this is the type of matchup against this Niners team where you can change the conversation about you.
Yep.
And I think Dak started to do that a little bit on Monday with the way that he played on that stage. If he does that again, if he has that sort of game again, if the Cowboys have that sort of performance again, there's going to be some relitigating of the way that we discuss Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy. And I honestly think that there probably should be.
I absolutely agree. How Dak and Kellen Moore reacted after each of those scores, showed me they're geared up for this playoff run. They're like, I think they're pulling out all stops. Like, that's one of the best games I've ever seen them play. I mean, it's easily top 3. That game was fantastic. I mean, just statistically, it's like no shit, but just watching his eyes and everything. And he's locked in. He's locked in. He was feeling confident with his offensive line. Watching him sort out pressures was incredible. But I totally agree with you is that they win this game. Wow. Wow. Like, this is real. This is no longer that kind of like, well, no, seriously, he's good. It's like now the people that hold on to QB wins and all that, they really have to start figuring out what their new answer is, what their new excuse could be is about Dak and what maybe the Cowboys are.
All right. Your X factor for this game.
Originally I had one answer. I changed it. That was a pre-show I gave it to you, but the Cowboys tight ends. I'm using a group again. I'm using a position group because but they matter. Not only just them being targeted or them being, as receivers or anything, but them as blockers to help out the run game. Of course, being reliable options, but just their usage and how Kellen Moore uses them. I think that's going to help out or hinder the Cowboys offense, but I think that is the answer for them. So that's the X factor for me. It's the usage of the Cowboys tight ends.
I love it. I think it's going to be a huge part of this game is what they do out of those heavy personnel sets, running and throwing it. I'm going with Jaron Kearse.
Love it.
If you're going to be that slot player and they're going to be running the ball out of 21 personnel, how do you fit up in the run?
It's on him.
Can you get your hands on the ball? He's been a turnover machine. I mean, his ability to kind of affect the game in multiple ways, I think, is going to go a long way for Dallas.
He's one of the few guys, I'm not saying that he can nullify him, but give Kittle some trouble too if he's covering Kittle, in those situations as well. That's usually his role as the tight end eraser for this defense. So one of the few guys that can maybe hang with Kittle because it's only a handful, but he's one of them.
All right, what happens in this game?
I'm going with a 23-20 Cowboys victory.
Wow.
Which was not going into this 3 days ago when I started taking my notes, was not what I was expecting this to be. I think they do get a couple of those Purdy plays and they take advantage of them. I think they take care of the ball in offense and get some of the plays. I think this game is going to be fucking awesome. And so I'm really excited for it, but I'm going with the Cowboys.
I can't pick. I truly don't know.
So everyone listening, we did the other predictions we had. We kind of like hinted what we're going to say when we were working on this in the pre-show. This was the one we didn't say to it. So this is like truly me and Robert just airing it out right now.
I could just see it going so many different ways.
No,
I could see the Niners turning it over multiple times.
Yep.
I could see the Niners just boat racing them.
Yep.
I absolutely could. It's hard for me to see a Cowboys blowout.
No,
that is more difficult for me to see. If you told me,
I could see the Niners running for 240 yards and I could see that Eli Mitchell's healthy. We haven't even mentioned him and CMC. Like I could see that easily as well.
I can't pick.
Come on.
I think the Niners still win.
Okay.
I think they still win. I'm going with, it's not even like the offensive weapons, and the offensive weapons have obviously been what's driven their success over the last 2 months since Purdy has been in there, and even since McCaffrey got there, right? I think that it's the pass rush to me. It's just their ability to kind of heat them up and create matchups in the interior and just get after Dak throughout this game. If you don't blitz and you don't vacate areas and you just try to get after him with 4, I think that they can still do that even with an offensive line that looked pretty good last week. So I think the Niners win, but I think it's close. I don't feel good about that. It's a really, really good matchup.
That it is, because there's so many strengths on strengths too. Like, okay, what makes the offense go for the Cowboys other than, like just running ball and Dak being efficient is throws over the middle to either Dalton Schultz or CeeDee Lamb. What do the 49ers take away from every offense they go against? Those exact throws. Okay, what's one thing we've dogged the Cowboys offense? They don't maybe have that top end speed. They don't have that juice. Okay, that's one way you can get after this Niners defense is doing that. And so it's like, that's what's awesome about this matchup, because it's going to be so coach dependent, I think, or scheme dependent and game plan dependent, along with the stars taking over in the end. It's awesome. This is what football's about. It's what playoffs are about. Is these tight matchups just like this?
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic game. I cannot wait to watch it.